They were called gods, angels, messengers, and star beings. Across every continent, in every culture, stories were told of entities descending from the heavens, wielding knowledge and power far beyond human comprehension. The Sumerians called them the Anunnaki. The Egyptians spoke of the Netjeru. The Greeks honored the Olympians. The Maya awaited the return of Kukulkan. What if these stories were not merely myth, but memory? Ancient records of beings who once walked among us, shaping human civilization and promising one day to return. This is the story of the return of the gods. Our story begins in ancient Mesopotamia, cradle of civilization, where the first written language, cuneiform, tells of gods descending from the heavens. The Sumerians named them the Anunnaki, those who came from the heavens to earth. According to the tablets, they taught humans agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, and laws of kingship. But most intriguingly, the texts speak of cycles, eras where the gods depart, only to one day return when the stars align. Zecharia Sitchin, in his controversial interpretations, suggested these gods were not divine spirits but flesh and blood beings from another world. If this is true, then the prophecy of their return is not symbolic, it is literal. The Sumerians spoke of Nibiru, the wandering star. Could the gods' return be tied to this cosmic cycle? Travel to the Nile Valley, and we find similar stories. The Egyptians honored the Netjeru, divine beings who walked among them. They taught wisdom, architecture, medicine, and the sacred mysteries. Pharaohs were said to rule not as kings alone, but as chosen representatives of the gods. The pyramid texts and coffin texts speak of Osiris, Isis, and Horus, but also of a time when the gods departed, retreating to the heavens. The prophecy of Egypt is striking. One day the stars will align, and the gods shall descend once more, restoring order and truth to the earth. Could this be the same cycle as the Sumerian prophecy? Were the gods of Egypt the same beings remembered in Mesopotamia, but by different names? In Greece, the stories continue. The Olympians ruled from the heavens, intervening in human affairs, waging wars, and forging alliances with mortals. Zeus hurled thunderbolts from the sky, Athena descended to guide heroes, Apollo brought knowledge of healing and prophecy. But Greek myth also hints at departure. The Orphic tradition spoke of the gods withdrawing to the heavens, leaving humankind to govern itself, but with the warning that their return would be inevitable. Plato in Timaeus describes great cycles of time, where gods return to restore balance after ages of decline. This echoes the same Sumerian and Egyptian themes. Were these stories fragments of a global memory? Cross the ocean to Mesoamerica, where the Maya and Aztec civilizations awaited the return of the feathered serpent god, Kukulkan, also known as Quetzalcoatl. He was said to have descended from the stars, bringing knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and sacred calendars. He promised to return at the end of a great cycle of time. The Maya long count calendar ended on December 21, 2012, a date misinterpreted as the end of the world, but in truth, perhaps marking the beginning of a new cycle, the dawn of the return. Could it be that Kukulkan was another face of the same beings remembered as Anunnaki, Netjeru, and Olympians? When we step back, the pattern becomes clear. Every ancient culture records beings descending from the heavens, civilizations transformed by their knowledge, a prophecy of departure, a promise of return. Were these gods truly divine, or were they advanced visitors from other worlds, remembered in myth as deities? The concept of ancient aliens suggests that humanity's myths are not fantasy, but history, encoded in symbolism and preserved in ritual, waiting for a time when we are ready to understand. And if the gods truly left, then the question is not if, but when they will return. Across the modern world, sightings of strange craft in the skies, encounters with beings of light, and unexplained phenomena stir ancient memories. Governments disclose what they once denied. The possibility of contact no longer belongs to fringe theories. It is entering mainstream discussion. Could these be the first signs of the return? Are we living in the age when prophecy will be fulfilled? Ancient myths tell us that when the gods return, they bring both renewal and judgment. Some will see their return as salvation, others as conquest. The question is, are we prepared? From the Sumerians to the Egyptians, from the Greeks to the Maya, one story has echoed across millennia. The gods will return. Whether they were divine, extraterrestrial, or something in between, the message is clear. Humanity's story is not only of Earth, but of the stars. Perhaps the myths are not of gods who vanished, but of family who promised to return when the time was right. And if that time is near, then everything we thought we knew about history, religion, and the human story will change forever. The return of the gods is not merely a legend. It is a prophecy, a warning, and perhaps a promise. If this journey has sparked your imagination, subscribe to the channel for more explorations into ancient mysteries and forgotten histories. Like this video to keep the knowledge alive and share it with those who seek answers. And let us know in the comments, do you believe the gods will return in our lifetime? Because the story of humanity is still unfolding, and the greatest chapter may yet be written.